Probably help if I had the microphone on, huh? Alright, you should be able to hear me now. Hopefully it sounds okay. So, boom, ba-doom. Hey everyone, how's it going? We're just going to get right into it. Slight pivot in terms of scenery, but hopefully it looks okay. Humna. Let's have some fun. What does this look like? We should be good. Let's do it. I'm gonna turn the mic down. Let's just go. that sounded okay. I was messing with the levels a bit during the thing because I think it might have been a bit too hot, but apologies for that. If it was, we'll see it later, I guess. I'm tired, man. Yeah, I think we're close. Basically going to use the rest of the week to prep. So I changed some things, obviously. This is now the permanent patch. I had been using these other, I think they're the Modular Addict braided cables, which are good. I really like them, and they're really, really nice for repatching. But it was a little bit difficult to close the case with everything. So I need to be able to transport it. So I have this. Should. Boom, perfect. All patched, ready to go. Voila. So that is why I switched to the tendrils, it's a bit of a mess. The tendrils are good. I'm wondering if the not right angle ones would be better, because you can see it gets dense. There's just a lot of overlap of the patches, so it's a little bit tight and there's a lot of just kind of mess. I tried to rein it in where I could with cable wraps. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, oh sorry, I was mentioning I changed a couple things. So I took out the delay. I think I mentioned this before I was talking about doing it. So I actually did. I took out the delay. The stemix is back in, and the drums are no longer going through the Cosmics. They are going from the bitbox to the data bender to the stemix. And the main voices are now going from the Cosmics through the performer to the stemix. And the idea there is that I can use, and you can kind of hear it. Let me see if I can. It's not perfect yet. I haven't dialed in the settings yet. But if I do, I'm going to play the drums, but I'm going to turn them down. So I just play the whole row. You can hear the side chaining. So basically what I did is, and it mostly works, on this one it works great because the kick is always that. So I have the kick in the routing on the micro. The kick, in addition to going into the kind of main mix out, is also going into output 1, and nothing else is going into output 1 from the micro. So output 1 is going into the sidechain input on the performer. So it's doing the ducking. Every time the kick goes up, the duck, it triggers the sidechain on the performer. Bob's your uncle. Works pretty good. Let's see, we should still be able to hear it. The sidechain is pretty aggressive at this point. So if I do this, and you can still hear it. So same idea, except because we're not dealing with straight kick samples here, I found the two samples of our little loop, which ironically are basically identical, and I'm using those to trigger the sidechaining on the performer instead. So also, I'm really happy with how that turned out. This is such a cool trick. So I touched on it a bit yesterday, but I realized I kind of glossed over some details. So the way the pads by default are on the micro, it goes from C3 to G3. So C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, etc. Triggering in order. And what I did was I took a 2-bar break, chopped it up in Ableton so that way each beat of that bar was one sample. That way I could use Ableton for the time stretching, I could test everything out on there, and well, it worked exactly like I wanted it to. And then I took the samples after they're time stretched, again, one sample per beat, and brought them in as a kit on the micro. And what I can do, basically, is if I play this, you can see it plays back in order the samples. And because the samples are all beat long, if I do C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, right? It plays everything back in order, and you can loop that. So if I actually look at my pattern here, hey, that's exactly what I was just describing. Here's my pattern in order. Boom, 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 boom. But now, because everything is pre-sliced, I can get real funky with it, and I can do stuff like this. Where I can play the slices however I want, out of order, backwards, multiple per a single beat to get kind of a retriggering effect. And you can create your own break, breaker, breaker, breaker. And that's a lot of fun, and I was really enjoying that yesterday. So, that's a fun trick that you can do. There is slicing on the micro itself, though I haven't messed with it too much. I just found it was easier, quicker to just do it in Ableton and then bring it over just on the SD card. You can save all of this. The other part that is really cool, and I've probably said this before, but I'm really enjoying the micro. I'm really glad I picked it up. I heard some things about it that were not super positive, but I've been overall really happy with it. Is that, so the other thing, so now notice, I don't know if you guys can see this on the screen, but it says A space 4 break. And now if I do this, it says A/3 liquid DNB, just my name of my drum and bass kit here. So the cool thing is, because it responds to program changes, you can dynamically, on the fly, swap between the presets. And I have the pattern on the NerdSeq sent to, boom, there it is, sent to change out and send, if you guys can see that. Set to send the appropriate program change per pattern. And the other part is you can set the track setup to only send program changes on change. So if it doesn't change, like if you go pattern to pattern to pattern, it's still program 2, it won't resend it completely. So it won't kind of keep the micro kind of like jumping around, which is good. So basically at the first instance of a new pattern, or a new preset, it will send the program change, and then when I swap to another one later, we Gucci! The one downside I have seen, and I mentioned this yesterday too, is that it doesn't seem to, when you do the program change and the first trigger at the same time, they're not quite in sync, and I don't know if that's a bitbox issue or a micro issue. Notionally speaking, my understanding of the way not a bitbox issue versus a NerdSeq issue, the way the program is read in the NerdSeq is top down, left to right. So this row, the trigger would actually happen before the program change, and I think that's probably why it's missing the beat. So one of the things I need to look to do is basically add a way to get it to the program I want without doing something, but I don't know if there's a way to do that. But anyway, it's been working and it's been fun and I've been enjoying it, and everything is patched and we're in lockdown at this point. This is what we got to work with. It seems to be good. I didn't need the delay. The delay wasn't really doing anything on Rings anyway. Rings already is basically a delay, or it has a delay aspect to it, so. Alright, I'm tired. I was working on this before, basically trying to build out as much song structure into this as I could. This is actually a copy of my original pattern, or my original project, so that way I have it as a backup, but this will probably be the final one at this point. I worked on the intro. I have some fun ideas that I don't want to reveal yet for the intro. I need to put it together. Also using the bitbox, but not for drums. So we'll see how that goes. Cool. Peace, everyone. Sorry for the short video today, but it's okay. I will probably be back tomorrow. See ya.